The divine source of the universe guides my life and all my finances. All is well, all is well. The divine source of the universe guides my life and all my resources. All is well, all is well. The divine. Greetings, everyone. How are you this Thursday evening? Thank you so much for joining us here on Patiently Waiting for Nothing podcast. Yay, this is week 4, and we are so excited that you are taking time to be with us and listen to us and just allow us to be of some comfort and inspiration as we're dealing with life changes right now. As you may have joined us before, you know that we're celebrating 20 years of Patiently Waiting for Nothing, and I am Shemsu-t, the author, and of course my friends call me Moot or Rita, or don't call me too late for dinner, right? We are talking about visualization tonight, and in the book there are actually 27 themes that we go through. So each week we are sharing those themes with you via or through Master Force coaches who are talking about how they utilize these topics or things in their own life. And when I was writing the book, I was actually struggling with finding what it meant to be fully joyful and patiently waiting for nothing. And I knew I knew how to tap into joy, but I had no idea what it meant to be patiently waiting for nothing. And so the book actually helped me evolve spiritually. And now here we are 20 years later, and many of us are struggling with the same topics that I was struggling with during that time. So it's wonderful to actually be able to share this work with you. And you can find it on Kindle, and I probably will reprint it. I'm going to look at that. I've had several people ask me if I would have it reprint, so I will visit that. But you can find the ebook copy on Kindle, and I think it's like $10 or something like that. So, you can read it all the way through, or you can read it with us. But we actually love being able to just talk with you and share with you our experiences. So, without further ado, let me see. We're going to bring in our guest, Shalanda Bouler. Shalanda, are you there?
Hey everyone.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, family.
Yes. Thank you for taking time out. I mean, I know that you are really taking time out, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You have so many things going on. So if you could just introduce yourself. I mean, I'm sure that people want to know who you are, how we know each other, what we're up to, and how we got on this path together. If you could just tell us some things about yourself to get you familiar.
Okay. I am Shalanda Latrice Bouler, and I am currently a certified personal trainer. I am actually an elite trainer. I am now studying for my yoga certification. I am a chaplain for the company that I work for, and it employs over 3,000 people. Okay. I'm also a business owner, and I help curate trips for traveling. And a grandmother, a mother of two, a grandmother of two, a world traveler. What else could I say?
Yeah, I mean, you could really go down the list, right?
I know, right. On and on and on.
Yes. And then recently you've been creating masks for people, right? You've actually taken that on too with the code.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. For currently, I am making masks for our first responders during this crisis of COVID-19. I'm also providing masks for seniors, as well as I've started a little entrepreneurship, and I have my niece and my girlfriends all helping, and we are selling them currently. Yes,
That
yes.
is wonderful. And that again just speaks to your heart and who you are when you hear a need that you can meet. And I just want to acknowledge you for that. And that's who you have been in my life and to many of the people that I know. So, just thank you for your heart of service. That's amazing, you know?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for entering into my life and creating such a profound change, a profound wealth of knowledge that the whole world needs to know. And I'm excited about this podcast tonight. I'm very excited.
Yeah. So let's share. How did you and I meet? How did we even get on this path?
So funny. Facebook is our friend and can sometimes be our enemy.
That's right.
But for us, that's how our friendship began. I think we were vegetarians, and I think it was around the holiday, and we were looking for what do vegetarians do on Thanksgiving, and we created something on that one Thanksgiving in 2009. I want to say
Yes.
and we've been best buddies ever since.
That is right. We actually created something, and I think we went and fed the homeless that day, and then we came back to my place, and the youngins were hanging out with us.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
wow, that's wow, yeah, that's over 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's pretty profound. You know, the my most favorite aspect of our relationship for me is, being someone that has been doing this work for eons. I mean, I think I came out of the womb having to do this work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you meet people that you can be receptive to, and I remember you taking on training me, and we were in your studio, your fitness studio, and you were saying, like, look in the mirror, look in the mirror. And I remember looking in the mirror, and I just started crying. Do you remember that day?
I do remember.
Oh,
yes,
my goodness. It was really interesting to be able to find that little girl who could not acknowledge herself in the mirror. Isn't that something? I think I had to be about 50.
Yes, I remember. That was such an emotional time. But even then, we were on our path of visualization and seeing, bringing that into our circle, because that, and allowing you to see yourself and visualize what that looked like, and moving forward from there is what we're talking about tonight.
It really is, because that I believe that opened up, because we don't realize where we have these blocks,
Yes.
and then you can get to the point where you think, well, I'm accomplished. I've accomplished this. I've achieved that. I did this, I had already written this book, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But there's still places where we have been afraid to touch or to visit. And so, the universe brings us people that say, hey, here's your mirror. Here's someone that can help you see yourself. Here's someone that can give you access to your own vision.
Yes.
And you can grow into it. So that is really good. So in you reading the book, Patiently Waiting for Nothing, and in particular that part about visualization, how was it for you? How did it impact you?
Looking at it again, I think I've read it a few times.
Thank you.
We've shared it. It just brought back to that if we just allow, just to be able to allow life to transform itself and not um, um, try to get in the way of what life has for you. It just impacted me in a great way. So, I mean, it's all part of learning new tools, learning how to handle yourself, and learning how to come out of the shell when you're feeling away. It's a good roadmap to be able to be open for change.
Yeah, it's I was looking at the topics. They kind of trigger you, don't they?
Yes. Yes.
Like what,
they all do.
Yeah, they all do. Because even that first one we talked about fear, and most people be like, "I'm fearless," but they sit in their house in front of the remote control, with the TV. Just
Yes.
You say, "Let's travel." No, I don't go out of my neighborhood.
Right. Why do we need to go there?
Right.
I hear that a lot. Uh-huh.
And it's only because it's an adventure. It's not a have to or a because or anything. It's a possibility. It gives us an access to something else.
Oh, sure. Yes, it does. Yes, it gives us an access to people, an access to cultures, an access to languages, just access to new communication, just a varied of new ideas and processes that we experience when you travel. Sure.
That is so true. And so now I want to actually unpack what visualization really is. So in your words, what would you say visualization really is?
So knowing that everything is energy, my definition is putting forth energy to thought and using your mind to press upon something that you want, or whether it's a goal, it's fitness, losing weight, money, cars, and or whatever material things that you want, a house, you want a husband, or whatever it is that you want. All of that is nothing but energy. So if you're putting your mind toward it, thinking about it, and putting emotion in it, seeing yourself with this thing, you can manifest or have anything that you want. And I am a believer of that. I walk around telling people words have power. Words have power. Speak it, see it, believe it, and it's yours.
Yeah. That is really it, right? Like being able, and I think most of the time, you said what you want. Most people don't know what they want. It's almost like they're afraid to want something in life out of fear they will be disappointed, right? Like if I want that, and then they try to go after it. What we're offering is that instead of going after it, see what it is you want, and then visualize that thing or aspect of what it is already in your life.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes. And then when you do that, because, you want something. I remember when I first started thinking about college, and there was no way I was going to go to college, according to my family and my background. But I used to go sit on the University of Chicago campus, and I used to pretend that I was a college student. And I used to visualize just being a college student sitting on campus doing my homework. And I saw myself on campus. So what literally happens in that thought and that desire and that want, right? You have the target over here, but now the gap starts closing, and you become that person that you're visualizing, so that when you achieve that thing, you actually are a match to it. Can you attest to that? Can you see that?
Oh, yes.
Do you have any experiences that you can see how that works for you?
So I created a vision board before, and I placed on it a house. I placed on it a car, and I placed on it love. And I walk past that board every day. I could feel myself in the house. Actually, it was the house that I was renting, and I kept saying, "I want this house. I want this house. This is my house. This is my house." And so, in the midst of renting, I took care of it as if it was my house, because it is my house. And yes, that came to pass this year. I was able to purchase a house that I initially rented for 2 years.
Wow.
So
yes.
Mm-hmm. I can attest to that. That energy works, and that visualization works. It works.
So then, if if people were looking at, and I know that it's more than you, and it's not really more than, because it's the words, "I want the house," and then it's taken care of, and it's the vision of it, but it's also the vibration, isn't it? Because you can't say, "I want the house," and then say, "This will never happen."
Oh, no. There's no negative energy, no negative speaking, no negative talk, no negative emotion about it. It's all positive, every day, all day. And that I was on it. I was on it. I made sure that breathing, my vibration was always good. There was always positive, always love here, created around the house. I walk around it, and just like some Christians say, you go throw that blessed oil on the doorstep, and you walk around it 10 times, and
yeah, our people, we can develop some rituals around anything, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's our magic. Come on.
So yeah, I all of that, and it's just amazing how when you create that type of energy and have that type of vibration, that it allows the universe to just overflow with whatever your desires are, whatever your heart is, and it's amazing how that works. And I dare anyone to put all of that emotion and effort and energy into something, and it not happen for them.
Yeah. So the reason that chapter actually got in the book, and you forgive me for telling this story because I know you've had to hear it 1,000 times, but I'm going to talk about when I broke my hip, thigh, and knee and was having a hard time healing. I was in the hospital for like 3 months, and that femur bone would not heal. And one of my teachers came in, and he brought me this book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And in that book, there were like 21 chapters. And I was so excited when he brought it to me. I couldn't wait for everybody to leave so I could read it, right? Mm-hmm. And when I opened the table of contents, I only wanted to read the chapters on healing because I wanted to get out of that hospital in time to go home for Christmas. I had been there through all the fall holidays, and I was done. I was done with hospital food too. Right? And, in that first part, it talked about, before you can even go to the universe for a request, you have to make sure that you forgive, like you are open. You can't be holding resentment. And, that's what we're talking about, that positive opening. You have to make sure that you're clear, you're open, yes. Right? And so I made sure I had all of that. I cleaned out and was ready. And then it said, you create a vision. And the most powerful time to visualize is when you wake up in the morning and before you go to sleep at night. And what most people do, they have on the TV before they go to sleep, they have on the radio when they wake up, and that's all right sometimes, but when you're actually going towards a goal or creating something, you have to make sure that you're managing what's going into your brain, right?
Right.
So I visualized those 3 little men knitting my femur bone back together. And sure enough, 3 days later, and y'all, you hear me saying 333. I mean, it's no accident. Those are universal numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was able to, they were able to put me in a body cast, and I was able to get home, you know, a day before Christmas Eve. And so visualization is really one of those tools that you keep expanding on, because that was when I was 17, you know.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now, you know, we use it for our business. We use it for healing, you know. And what other things do we use them for? You just named some already.
Well, you know, when I heard your story, I started using it for my pain too, because in the fitness arena, we were experiencing all kinds of muscle soreness and all kinds of pains, and each and every time, and that's what I did. I could see the pain, I could visually see it. I always saw it as a red spot wherever the pain was. I would see it as a red spot, and I would see the little people in there just scrubbing that red spot, scrubbing. And it would eventually go away, and that started my path, on my personal path, from hearing your story on how to visualize and create and manifest, and so that's been my story since then. So yeah,
that's beautiful. And see, and that's what I'm saying. We mutually inspire each other. That's just a given, what the gifts are in the universe, right?
Yes.
It's always mutual.
Yes.
So, you know, one of the other topics in today's conversation is using visualization along with creating adventure. So how would you actually use that, or have you used that in creating an adventurous life? Would you say you have an adventurous life?
I would say I have an adventurous life, and then some. So in my travels, I started traveling so very long ago, and I knew that was something that I really was excited about and had passion about. But back then, my children were small, so I wasn't able to really facilitate my yearning for that. But I was able to do it, you know, occasionally. I could travel and see new cultures. It was at the point of me turning 50. I think that's a good number for people.
It is. The kids are grown.
When I turned 50, I think I had the total awakening, or that now is my time. Now is my time for all of my passions, everything that I'm excited about, for me to really, really try to manifest everything that I've always wanted. And so one of those things was I really wanted to become a world traveler. I know there's so much world out here for everyone to see. And I wanted to be one to be able to move forward. I wanted to teach my children how to do that. And my grandbabies, I wanted to leave that for them. My grandma was a world traveler, so
I gotta go.
There you go. So I set out to doing it, and I've achieved quite a bit of travel in such a small time. Some of the places I've gone is Venezuela. I've been to Cartagena, Cayman Islands, Cuba, Huatuco, Spain, France, Italy, Greece, Sweden, Norway, Copenhagen, Africa, and India, and Asia. So I'm moving all around.
Yes.
It wasn't until I went to India where I really had an insight. Nepal is very, very spiritual, and you could feel the love once you get off get out of the airplane. You could feel the energy, and it was that I had an awakening that this is what I want to do. I want to travel and see the world, and so we were trying to get to the Himalayas. We wanted to get to the Himalaya mountains, and that was our goal. We weren't able to make it because the weather was so bad, and we couldn't get the helicopter up to the mountains. But we were able to see it on our departing flight. We were able to look out the window and take some pictures of it. But that was the goal. But from there, the energy was I wanted to start to plan and do trips. It wasn't until India that I met a young lady named Tamara Vaughn. She's Tamara Andrea on Facebook. And we decided to start our own little travel company where we curate trips We're going to do some biking trips where we go to different countries and we do uh, uh, bike runs, bike rides through the mountains or whichever particular country we're in. We'll find some fascinating, tours, and we'll bike ride. So we're doing that, and we've also had some trips planned this year. We were doing Ghana for August, but looks like that's going to be shut down for the COVID-19. We had Tanzania planned, Senegal, Vietnam. But our Madagascar trip is sold out.
Oh, wow. Now, when is that dated for? The end of the year?
Yeah, we're trying to get it to the latter summer. We're trying to make sure that it's okay for latter summer. Mm-hmm. We had Cape Verde is sold out. It's in schedule for November.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. And we're looking to do some greater things. We're also going to try to re-trip our Ghana tour for December for the Afrochella this year. We were supposed to do Charlie Wote for August, but again, COVID-19 has wiped that one out. So we're going to push for December. So everyone that was interested for the August trip, let's make it December. Yeah. And we're going to have a grand time. Yes.
That is so wonderful. It really brought to mind the year. I think my son was going to be graduating from the 8th grade, and I actually created a proposal to his school, and I said, instead of the children going to Washington D.C., why don't we travel out of the country? And they were like, Miss Stewart, where do you want to go? I said, Egypt. They looked at me like, oh my God, Miss Stewart, And they said, well, how are we going to get this money? I said, well, the parents would pay part of it, and I would fundraise for part of it. And it was very interesting because what stopped a lot of the parents from allowing their children to go with us was their fear. And they said, oh, they could die, they could get hurt. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, we're in Chicago. That's
right.
You can walk out your door. So, but we ended up, and then the way we created this vision for people is every time someone came to make a deposit. And I mean, I had people like, Miss Stewart, I know it's late, but I had this $100 in my hand. Can I come and bring it to you so I don't spend it? And, because with us, sometimes it's like that. These parents are working parents, and this, you want them to pay $3,500 for a trip. And so every time they would bring me any amount of money, I would give them a receipt. And on the receipt, it would say, we are going to Egypt. And I would tell them, put this on your refrigerator so that you could see it every day. And that's similar to what you were talking about, your vision board. Because, how often do you walk by or go in your refrigerator and you see we are going to Egypt? And so this was a tool that I was using instead of trying to teach them inside of a class to visualize. It was actually giving them the object so that they could see it. Yes, and sure enough, we did. We went to Egypt and had a 10-day trip, and I mean, it was amazing. It was just an amazing. I'm grateful that happened. I don't know if I'll ever take children on a trip again.
But how cool was that?
It was so well. That? You know what it was too. We didn't have any men with us. We didn't have any men with us. So it was me and Miss Legault. We were the teacher or teacher chaperones, and then we had 5 other parents go with us. And some of the parents were, worse than the children. But it was an amazing experience. And I remember one of the parents called me and they said, Miss Stewart, my son said that he will never say he is poor again because he actually got to see how poor children live in Egypt. Because a lot of these children, they couldn't afford to go to school. They couldn't go to school.
Yes.
So that is that. So people, when you're planning a trip with Shalanda, don't worry about, don't create where am I going to get the money. Just go with the desire, right, Shay Shay?
Absolutely. That's it right there. If you want to go, we make it affordable. And we have payment plans, and it's just a beautiful experience. I've done a trip where you actually pay on it for 8-9 months, and it works. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. There's no pressure. You get everything squared away. By the time the trip comes, everything's paid, and you're just ready to go.
Right. And then along the way, you're getting the things, you're getting your passports and your visas.
Oh, yeah.
Every month you're getting whatever things you're getting the extra electronic devices, because
Yes,
sometimes when you're
yes.
traveling to different countries, you have to have different plug-in utilities.
Oh.
And when you're traveling with Shalanda, you don't have to worry about that. She have a whole electronic
My friends already know.
We already know.
I got everything you need.
Right. So and I really, like, you've already been encouraging, but what else can you say to people to get them excited about living an adventurous life? What else could you say?
Well, because we've been so programmed for so long to just be content with our everyday lives, and not to say that they're not exciting or adventurous in itself, but just to be able to step out of the norm and be able to see what else there is in the world is just it would just do your whole life great joy, because you just don't even know what you don't even know. And once you step on that plane, the excitement of getting to where you're going and getting off the plane, and you're there and your feet are on some foreign land and ground, there's no words to express that. When I first time going to Africa, I was like, oh God, I'm going to motherland. And when I stepped off that plane, that was it. It was over. I was in love, and I didn't care what it looked like after that. I knew my heart. I knew I had to see more and be more of what Africa had to offer. And it has created such a spark of interest that I think I might move there once I retire. I'm visualizing that right now.
You better say that. You better say, and because you've been there, you got some of that juice too. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it.
Yes, the people there are so warm and friendly and loving, and I cannot express that enough, how warm and friendly they are. But I tell you, I've been so many places, and I've not gone to not one other country that they have not been as warm and friendly and loving. So I don't want people to fear that you heard of going someplace and they treat you a different way. No, they treat you like you're a spirit being. And I don't even know of any of my travel friends that have had any kinds of problems traveling outside of the U.S. So I'd welcome everyone to at least try one time. And now that we're offering it, you got somebody that because you got a friendly face, me. You are welcome to join us on any of our excursions that we may be planning for the remainder of the year or next year or beyond, to join us so that you can experience for yourself what kinds of adventures you can have in seeing other countries and cultures and people and hearing languages and just that whole experience.
That is really so great, Shalanda, because in my travels too, I have not ever had an experience outside of the country where I felt unwelcome. And it was very strange, because we had been programmed to think that we're hated. The people hate Americans, or because you're black too.
Yes,
we grow up with that stigma. People don't like you. But I remember traveling in Italy, and I would go into a restaurant to eat, and I was with a group, but I would travel alone sometimes just to see the city and tour, tourist attractions and stuff. And I would go into a restaurant to eat, and then when I would ask for my bill, they would tell me your bill was already paid. I mean, that had to happen to me about 3 or 4 times, right? And I'm
Yes.
thinking that my bill is paid, and I'm looking for, is somebody trying to pick? Nope. That was people who really enjoyed watching me enjoy myself, and they wanted to pay my bill. And not one time did anyone, and even when I would go down to the hotel bar to have a glass of wine, and he would tell me, he said, oh, this wine. I said, I can't drink all of that wine. He said, you don't have to drink it, but I have to pour it because it was paid. And I would have glasses of wine lined up. But that's the generosity of other cultures.
Absolutely. Yes. They'd be so excited to have foreigners
yes.
to see, just to be able to witness for themselves. Because as much as we're curious about them, they're curious about us. And, to see someone in person. I remember we were in India and we were by the Taj Mahal. I tell you, those people followed us like we were celebrities. They wanted to take our picture.
Yes.
I mean, they wanted us to take pictures with the mother, the father, the dog, the cat. And we couldn't even move for them surrounding us, wanting to take our picture like it was our skin color or it was just us being from America. It was all of that. They wanted to see who we were and how we moved. So it's a both. The curiosity runs both ways, and needless to say, they were very generous. When we said no more pictures, they moved away and they understood. And it was just that was an adventure in itself.
Yeah. But it really does make you have an appreciation for the different relationships that we formed with others. It's almost like we get to be ambassadors so that they can see a different context of America. We can show them what loving people are like, or, and they only see Black people on television, right? A lot of times.
Right.
And because most of the travelers are European for the most part. So when they see us, and I remember going to Aswan, right outside of Cairo, and the guys kept saying, our cousins, these are our Nubian cousins. Hello, Nubian cousins. And they wanted to take a lot of pictures, but they said, you look just like us. You see. And it was beautiful. It was such a loving, and all you wanted to do was take pictures and just feel that warmth.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And that welcoming excitement. Yeah, that is really great.
Yes, it is, and I that's why I dare everyone to at least one time try it for yourself, experience leaving the country, getting away, or at least visit Africa. I can't promote Africa enough because we've been programmed to know that it's something, and it's not what we think that it is. That is one beautiful country.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And all I can hear is, what about the person who is afraid to fly? How can visualization help them to actually be able to, get the courage to get on that airplane?
So, beginning, learning to visualize, I would say for them to get in a quiet space and breathe deeply 10 times and slow their whole mind and get to a quiet place where they can just sit real quiet and see themselves on this plane, see themselves moving, see themselves flying in the air, and see themselves landing safely wherever their destination is that they choose to go. See themselves enjoying themselves, see themselves eating rich culture food, see themselves seeing new people and hearing new languages and being in new cultures, and allowing that energy to take them there, and do that daily. Do that whenever they're thinking of having any type of anxiety about flying. All the time they're creating this energy and moving toward getting to where they want to be. And that would help them create the space to manifest this trip to move forward to whatever it is that they desire. So
Yeah,
that's what I would suggest.
that is really great, because you know, you gave them like each stage. You know, first see yourself in the plane. You know, like most people want to put themselves, you know, scared to get on the plane, but no, relaxed on the plane, right? Just
Yes.
being taken care of, and everybody around. And yeah, I wonder if people look at too many scary movies. That could you know, that might be what the problem is.
Well, you don't have to worry about me. I don't watch them. So that's something I don't know about. I leave that alone. I don't watch some scary movies. But that I do know. I remember my first flight, and I was a little apprehensive about it. But that was way before I knew about visualizing. But now that I know the tools of how to, you know, create and see myself, that's what I would be doing. And I tell you, it works for me on all occasions. People say, I don't know how you do it, but you keep it moving. I keep it moving because I'm constantly visualizing and manifesting, visualizing more than anything. I'm always seeing myself wherever it is that I'm trying to place myself or be or do. I'm already seeing it in my mind and playing it out and replaying until the universe opens up and allow it to flow.
Yeah, and it is a flow. That's really great, because sometimes we try to force a thing,
yes.
You know, and we try to will, you know, and I tell people all the time, you can try to will something, but when you will it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's for you. The universe is not going to stop you from willing something. But when you actually allow it to unfold, like you prepare yourself to exist inside of that, and you're ready for it. Sometimes you will yourself for something and you get there and say, I really don't want this now.
Right.
Because your energy doesn't match what it is you created, because you just, you know, push through aggressively, right? Forcibly.
Yes.
So to speak. Yes. Yeah, that's really great. And then on your travels, are you a person that bring back souvenirs or, you know, treasures? Has that been a great find for you in some of the places you've been?
Only one place. I normally I'd say that I don't souvenir shop. I try not to, because that steals away from your time of enjoying and seeing and being present. And so I try to limit my souvenir shop. But I did for Africa because it was just so much, so many beautiful things there. It's just I couldn't leave with just one. But normally I don't, because again, I like to be present in my travels, and I like to be with my experience, whatever that is at the moment, and shopping and moving around trying to find things is not how I want to spend my time on vacation. No.
Yeah, and it sounds like you like to be social with the group, the people you're traveling with. You get to know a lot of people inside of that too, don't you?
Yeah, in traveling, you get to meet great people. And I've met some wonderful people that have become great friends outside of the traveling. So along with moving towards your new adventures, you don't know who you may meet, who may help you along the way. Even in your visualizing, you may meet someone that may help you manifest some of the things that you desire, because they're already even involved in it, or they know someone that can help you. So a lot of networking is done as well. So yeah, it's a great experience all the way around.
That is beautiful. I know I because we're friends, I always get to have something that you bring back for me, and it's usually, you know, something really great, like a oils or fans or cloth, you know, things that are lasting, you know, and
yes.
they're not like souvenirs, you
right.
know, they really are pieces that I can have and use on a regular basis.
Yes, and that's normally the case. Again, Africa was just fulfilled with so many useful things for us, and in our work, that it was just amazing that I took an empty suitcase and I brought it back full, almost overweight.
Oh, so that's the idea. Take an empty suitcase.
Take an empty suitcase, and and it was filled almost overweight. So Africa was a whole nother story. I am in love with Africa, and I can say that I found some love in Africa. Oh. So I'm excited about that too.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to get into that conversation on visualization right here, but
right.
That sounds really good.
Well, that's a part of visualizing, because that was one of the things on my vision board. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, go ahead and tell us a little bit then. We want to hear it. Just a little bit, okay?
Just a little bit. So and also visualizing my house and some of the things that has been important to me. I've also been trying to create space for love, and in creating that, you always have to remain loving and in a loving space and in a positive space, and that has been my desire, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. So stay tuned.
So you said a couple of things, because you said first of all, I may move to Africa. So now we know why you may move to Africa. Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay. So that, and then so I know why I have to get a visa that's extended.
Yeah, so we'll be traveling. Yes, we will be traveling soon.
That is beautiful. And what are our brother kings like in Africa?
Brother kings are beautiful. I can say that they are beautiful. And for women that say there are no men here on earth for them, let me tell you, there are hundreds of them on that continent. And beautiful ones in Ghana, I might add.
Does it seem like they're available, or are they all married, or?
They are available, and most of them are business owners. Believe it or not, the men there have to create wealth from themselves so that they may eat. Well, a man that does not work does not eat. So they create their own businesses to be able to carry on, whatever that may be. So it's a lot of eligible men there. Beautiful men, beautiful, and they're so very loving and kind.
And so, can you tell us how you met your mate? Is that yeah?
Well, on my trip to Ghana in December, there was a gentleman that I met, and he was very friendly, very nice, and he took the grandest care of me and made sure that I was comfortable in all places. And we just became friends, and we just started talking, and it's we've been messaging each other, and I decided to go back. And I went back to see him.
So you went back. So wait a minute. So that was in December, and then you went back since December?
I went back in March. Yes,
okay.
I went back in March. And we were able to spend some time together. And he's a great guy. That's all I can say for now. He's a great guy.
That is wonderful. So on the first part of the trip, you actually got to meet him, and was it an instant connection, or it took
It was an instant connection. Yes,
okay.
I'll say that. Yes.
Yeah. And then but because you were on an already engaged trip with a team of people, a group of people, you probably didn't have very much time to spend with him.
Exactly. So I said I'd come back and just see, just to see, and I'm adventurous, and it was a great experience to go back without being on a guided tour. I was able to see some of Africa, by myself on my own time, and and spend time with him. And we had a great time. It was even better than the first time.
So my sister Queens, I hope that you are listening when Shalanda says that we are going to Ghana in December. All of you sisters, all of us who are single and available.
Absolutely need to be on this trip.
And we need to be getting our fitness in order and our house in order, because our kings are probably there waiting for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they are. Trust me, trust and believe. If I can't say it any louder than that, they are waiting. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably why we've been trained to not go over there, and then but why there's so many restrictions and guidelines, and and people say,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We could actually start a revolution just in connecting.
Yes. I maybe have to lead the force in that.
But it sounds like I know you've piqued my interest, so I'm sure
right?
Other people are saying, well, wait a minute, because you went in December and 3 months later you went again. Yeah, so.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let me say, the visualization piece, I love that you mentioned the vision board. So if you guys don't have a vision board, create your vision board, put whatever it is that you desire. Shalanda was sharing that she desired a house, a car, a certain car, and her mate, and you have all of them.
I do. How beautiful is that? So I'm on to manifesting and visualizing bigger and greater things.
Wow.
The universe is so expansive. It holds everything that we could ever want or desire. So right now, the sky's the limit. I'm putting it all out there.
Okay, so that's what the rest of us need to do. We need to decide what it is that we want, create a vision board, and then also keep our fitness, keep our health as a high priority, like self-preservation, right?
Yes. That's very important. And I can't speak on that alone enough, because even with what we're going through right now at this moment, we've got so many of us African Americans going through a lot of this COVID-19, and it could have been controlled by our diet. We could not even have to go through all of this if we be up on our diet. And cheese is not our friend. Let's just put that out there. And with all of the issues with lungs and the breathing, we need to really, really take a look at our diets and move to something a little bit more cleaner. So I'm pushing on my end and telling all my people and anybody that will listen about a clean diet and how to eat better, how to cook better. That would make you look better. That would bring your weight down, and that would help you control your immune system and put it back on top where it needs to be. So, yeah, all of that.
That's really great, Shalanda. And the other piece that I would add to that is alkaline water.
Alkaline water.
That is, yes, because that will help a great deal in helping to balance us out. I was just thinking we could do a whole segment inside of high quality nutrition, couldn't we?
Yes, we could.
Yeah.
Yes, we could. And speaking of alkaline water, I just got my new filters in today, so I am excited about that. As I didn't know when they would come, because everything is moving slow during this period. So I'm excited that I got my new filters, so I'm good, and we'll be drinking that alkaline water. Yeah.
But that's something that our household was talking about. We need to talk to you about getting our own machine, because right now we actually go to the store and get a couple of 5 gallons a week, for us.
Yes.
And it's alkaline, and it's pretty inexpensive. It's only like $7 for 5 gallons. But if we had it at home, because we also use it to cook with, we don't just drink it, we use it to cook all of our meals and our teas and coffees and juices,
Yes, that's
So,
so important. Yes.
yeah. So that would be good. I think we'll talk to you about that. So, okay, so we're winding down, and I just want you to let people know how they can get in touch with you, where they can connect with you, and any information you can share about, any interest they may have in taking a trip coming up.
Sure. So our company is called My Travel Theory, and currently our website is under construction, but it is www.mytraveltheory.com. We do have an open line that you can call, and that number is 877-T-THEORY, and that's 877-864-3679. If you want more information, or if you'd like to find out what's going on with Ghana, because we're going to definitely be doing Ghana in December, and that trip is still open. We got Afrochella coming up, and we're going to see the slave castles, and we're going to visit some other things, exciting things that you would be so astonished with. So if you're interested, give us the call or check our website, and as soon as we're working on it, so we're hoping to have it up within the next week or so.
But so if somebody was planning on going to Ghana with you, what is the vaccination schedule like? What does that actually look like? Do you have any idea right now?
So, prior to this crisis, it was just required that you have a yellow fever shot. Also, you would take malaria pills a couple of days before you leave, and then all the time that you're there, and then a couple of days when you come home. I think that would, unless you're up on your other immunizations, and you can check with your doctor, everything else should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just yellow fever is recommended or required, I should say, and malaria pills are required. And that's just in case you get bit by mosquitoes or something. And we didn't really have any problems with mosquitoes, but let us not say that won't be your experience. So malaria pills, and then a yellow fever shot. Now, what I'm hearing is that there may be some type of vaccination that we might have to take in order to travel going forward after the crisis is over, but I can't be certain that it will be. So we'll just keep our eyes and ears open to see what CDC recommends for travelers. So that's all I have for that.
That's great. And then what I like to tell people is, when you're coming back from any foreign travel, always add probiotics. What is it?
Probiotics.
Yeah, always add that when you come back to your diet, because a lot of times the different microbes get into your system, and then when you come back, it feels foreign again, right? Because it's two foreign entities trying to balance out. So your flora and your dietary system gets a little whack. So if you take probiotics. Whatever.
Probiotics.
Yes. Probiotics. Right. So then if you take those, it helps to balance that out.
Sure.
Because otherwise people get really sick afterwards, and they're going, what's going on? And it's just your system trying to adapt to, its own foreign land, or its own land, right?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Shalanda. I really appreciate you. Tell your grandchildren thank you for loaning you to us for an hour.
I will. I definitely will. As you know, they've tried to find where I am.
I know they are. And also, I just want to thank you for who you are in my life. I have a greater appreciation for love, friendships. You taught me so much about friendships and trusting people as my friend. You opened that up for me, and I'm thankful for you doing that, because of you, I have so many more relationships. that I was able to open up to. So you definitely have been a godsend to me. And I look forward to all of our continued adventures.
Yes, and we have so many more to go, so many more to go. And I'm grateful for you too for just being who you are and being what you have been in my life and opening my eyes to a lot of different new adventures and new tools to go through this life. And if you're interested, if anyone out there is interested in taking a class, a life coach class, or you need skills in parenting, or you need relationship tools, please check out her website and sign up as soon as you can so that you may have all the tools you need to go through this life, because we all need help, all of us.
Yeah, so you can find us. You can find us on Facebook, Master Force, or either Master Force International Leadership Academy, and then you can also find on Facebook, Patiently Waiting for Nothing, and I will post your travel information there too, Shalanda, so people can come back and find you, and then that way, when the website becomes live, it'll show up.
Okay,
for
great.
them as well. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yes. All right, everybody. That's the end of this show. And then I wanted to invite you to join us next Thursday, where we will have our brother King, Timothy Glenn. I know you guys are like, does she only have women coaches? We actually have some fabulous brother Kings that are I mean, there's so many things for us. So listen in next week where we talk to Timothy about time and reference to now. And in the meantime, I want you to always look for the peace in your heart and see where you can patiently wait for nothing. See you next week. The divine source of the universe guides my life and all my finances. All is well.